Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead and Random Things to a brand new night for this week. We are rocking this on Wednesday night, so hopefully you guys had a chance to think about some of the things that we may or may not discuss. I gave a couple hints, I think, in the last video that we talked about, and let me go ahead and mute this. Hopefully you guys don't hear any playback. If you do, I apologize for the first couple seconds. So let's make sure we got all of our audio things where we need our audio things to be. I think we're good. We'll know in about 10 seconds we get some of the playback. Am I coming through loud and clear? Can you guys, if you guys can hear me okay, just give me a quick 999 in chat. Make sure there's no feedback or anything else going on in the stream. So we will get right into some of the topics. I see some people. What's up, Caden? Good to see you. Kel says smile. Benny J in the house. Vladimir Taylor. Zane Thomas. Zane, really sorry about, I know you were in the stream the other day, and Zane actually applied to one of the communities or factions in this game we're playing. I didn't recognize him, and I just kept like denying over and over again. Hired Help is in the house. What's up, Hired Help? That is that's my right hand in the gaming. The dude is doing some serious work, some mad work out there. I see Snow Wolf. And wow, so many people here jumping in. Thank you. Appreciate all of you guys being here. I'll get to some shout outs a little bit later on. So let you know a little bit about random things. Just pick a few topics and we just kind of go off course and talk about whatever seems to be a topic of the week. Some video game chat will come up, some Walking Dead will chat. I just take a lot of the news and a lot of stuff's out there and we just get this thing cranking. So once again, appreciate all you guys being flexible, changing your schedule up a little bit. If you're new to this channel, a little bit of stuff we do random things, we do a top 9 countdown, we do Walking Dead chat, especially when Walking Dead's on TV. And we're going to start doing something a little bit different next week. We're going to start doing a little bit of Game of Thrones, so I'm looking forward to that as well. I have been doing some serious watching, been getting ready for everything, and that's what we're going to talk about. So you can see the first category today is binge walking, because when I think binge watching to me was really when I started with Walking Dead. I did not start Walking Dead from day number 1, didn't read the comics. I went back and sort of, got into it, watched 3 or 4 episodes, and then it was kind of, I couldn't stop at that point. Same thing with Game of Thrones. I have been just doing some super crazy binge watching. I've got 1 more episode left. I am at the very, very last episode. So if you guys have not caught up, I'm not going to spoil everything and tell you what happens, but I am really, really excited. And 1 episode left, I mean 1 episode in Season 7. I just started watching this about 3 weeks ago. So I had people messaging me on Kick like, where's some of the comic book reads, some of the other stuff, because I've just been super, super focused. And then, of course, the Walking Dead March to War has taken a little bit of my time as well. We'll talk about that in just a couple instances as well. I see Kelly Golan's in here in the house. BKG in the house. Diane Estes. Thanks for all of you guys being here. Also, one additional announcement. We have 99 Sports as well. So a couple nights a week we'll do streams there, especially Saturdays and Sundays. We do college football and also professional football on Sunday mornings. So let me ask you guys this question, and I know Walking Dead is something that popped up with a couple people. I saw it in chat. What shows have you guys not watched? You felt like you missed out a little bit and went back and just had to binge watch it? Or maybe it's something that you've actually watched before and you went back and binge watched it again. Another show that I did this with actually was Daredevil. Daredevil was another one. It was on, I don't know if it was on Amazon or Netflix. It was one of those. Guess it was just an Amazon chill night. So, yeah, Daredevil was another one I went back and binge watched. Blacklist, I think I was behind on Blacklist as well, and I watched a couple seasons, the first couple seasons on Blacklist, and then started watching it on Thursday nights. Breaking Bad, I will go back. Lost, that's actually a good one. Vladimir Taylor. Lost is one. Survivor. Jericho, not seen Jericho. Sons of Anarchy is another one. I know one of my subscribers, the OK's Taylor, she does streams and talks about Sons of Anarchy. I might catch that too. I may catch it here or there. If I did it, I'd be more inclined to like talk about it. So I think I'm going to pass on that one. Dexter, Sons of Anarchy, Lost, Game of Thrones is Kel. Yeah, Rial, with Daredevil is like, I feel like there needs to be more episodes, right? Did it just kind of stop and they just left us hanging? Dexter's another one. Carol watched Midnight Texas. I've not heard of that, actually. House? Yeah, oh yeah, House is good. So you guys are just bringing back. Everybody talks about how good Dexter is, and I think I watched 1 or 2 episodes, and I did like it, but it's been a while. Thank you, Peace Dove. Thank you so much for popping in. Appreciate you being here. Also, Walali in the house. Literally, and I said this on the other stream, there's literally 40, 50 people in chat, and I don't know what is up with the counter because this counter is always like lagging seriously bad. But I don't know. YouTube has just given me some problems over the last few months. But appreciate everybody packing this house. Thanks for all of you guys being here. A lot of people are going to watch it in the playback. So, so a couple people like Midnight Texas. I've never seen it. Carmen Trance. What's up, Carmen? Easy Man. D. Mooney. Yeah, I've given like 30 shout-outs right now, and it says there's like 14 people here. So I know it's really, really off. All right, well, anyway, I'm going to combine the two. We're going to talk about binge watching, and you guys know Game of Thrones, so I appropriately titled it Game of Dead. So people have been asking me, and I did touch on this, so you probably knew it was a hint for a conversation that was going to come very soon. The comparison between Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead. And I'm not just talking about there's White Walkers and then there's Walkers, because there are some things that are similar in the shows. But somebody had asked me, like, compare the characters, if it was Rick versus Jon Snow, you know, once you get kind of toward the end of it. So I will talk about a couple things because I'm going to go through and do some of these episodes. It's not just Rick versus Jon Snow. You do have your Daryls. You had your Abrahams. Now, and excuse me, because you know when you're binge watching, you don't catch up on all the characters of both shows. But Abraham to me is a lot like the I can't even remember his name now, but the red-haired wildling that is with Jon Snow. So those two kind of remind me of each other, not just because they're both red-haired, but because some of their humor and some of their wisecracks. So I can almost see some of the show, it seems like they do steal a little bit from each other, I guess. But yes, the dialogue in Game of Thrones. But the one thing that really, really jumps out to me is, other than 1 or 2 characters that I wanted to die early on in Game of Thrones, the characters are they're very tough. And I like that toughness. And I'm not just talking about fighting tough. If I put you know, you could probably ask to compare characters. If I put a Michonne up against Cersei Lannister, right? Let's compare a couple here. So we'll have Game of Dead. Michonne with an axe, with a katana, is brutal. But Cersei has this diabolical nature to her that she's always scheming and strategizing. And I feel like Michonne can be ruthless, but now she's getting a little bit of that soft spot where Cersei kind of had it for her kids, but she is willing to torture you and punish you like you've never seen before. So the ruthlessness in Game of Thrones is like a whole different level. Like, you know, they always say, always Rob said it, and then Jon Stark said, you know, the person who convicts them of the crime has to swing the axe. So they're not afraid to go up there and just, hey, you messed up, we're just going to chop your head off. No doubt about it. So that's where I think the big difference in the show is. If I had to put, I mean, look at some of the fights that are going on, and look at the toughness of some of the characters. Jon Snow, it's badass. Okay, maybe you could say Jon is your Daryl, right? So you could probably say, well, Daryl might be a little tougher. Whatever. If that's your opinion, that's your opinion. But then I could give you a whole lot of other ones. How about Jorah Mormont? Jorah Mormont, I think is his name. So Jorah's a tough dude, right? Jaime Lannister is a tough dude. I mean, these people can fight. And they don't kind of back down. They fight each other. Whereas, even you're right. Sanhai says Ramsay was ruthless. Ramsay is Shane. So I'll give you Shane and Ramsay. But how about Drago? I mean, look at some of the powerful characters they have. Daenerys. Arya. She's a freak. She is a freaking badass. I'm telling you, like some of the stuff she says, you know, the faceless god needs a name. I mean, I know I've just binged watched and I have to go back and dissect it a little bit. So to compare the two shows, the biggest thing is, well, with The Walking Dead, I like the modern nature to it, and I think we can kind of relate to it. With Game of Thrones, I like the fact that it's really hard to break down the characters. It's like it's tough against tougher, not just Negan bowing people down and making them whimper and do those things. That's a little bit. So Benny J said, I've never seen an episode of Game of Thrones. I know you do. You definitely need to watch it. If I put Steph's like, Hodor. Hodor. All right. I'm working on my Hodor. Let me read a couple comments here. So Zane Thomas said, The Walking Dead has a more centralized plot and more relatable characters, but Game of Thrones has a stronger story and so much more to it. I do agree with that. And I went in watching Game of Thrones and thinking, like, I don't know how much I'm going to like it. I might like it better. So if you guys have been putting off watching it, and I tell you that I am one of the world's best Walking Dead fans, and I'm telling you that I like Game of Thrones and I may even like it better, it's hard to say, then you need to check it out. And as I said, I have one episode left, so I can fully talk about it later on in this week. But I pretty much got almost everything. I mean, once you watch 7 seasons and 6 episodes, you pretty much know all the characters, who's there, who's not going to be there. But, okay, now, there are some wimpy people. Samuel Tarly, okay, he has his purpose, but Samuel Tarly is Eugene. Right? Same kind of wimpy character. You know what, Tommy? It is a super bold statement. But there's just so much going on and so much, like, there's always a storyline. and I woke up a lot of the Game of Thrones fans. I think they were shocked that I was going to like it so much. Real, haven't seen past season 3. Real, I will tell you, it gets so much better because there's less of the, you know, provocative nature and eye candy and all of that stuff as you get later on. And the last 2 seasons, I think, was really kind of what got me. Okay, but now we're going to transition because there's going to be a lot of Walking Dead, a lot of Game of Thrones chat. I will just say, if you guys want to binge watch it, binge watch it. If you want to have some detailed dialogue and some in-depth analysis, then tune in next week because we're going to talk about it. And I may even go back and watch it again just to get to really some of the intricate nature of the whole show. Tommy, let me just forewarn you, and trust me when I say this, do not let little Tommy watch it. Literally, the first couple seasons, I was joking with people. I said it should be called Game of Porn because it is pretty hardcore. So don't sit there on family night and say, "Hey, little Tommy, come here. Let's have some popcorn and watch some of these knights and these what the no, stop. Make sure you don't tune in for that." What is up? What's up, Eric? There's my ex arch nemesis, Eric in the house. What's going on, man? Tuning in. So we're moving on to the Walking Dead comics. So and what I wanted to do with this is there's a article that came out, comicbook.com, and it had one of the producers, and they're bringing back the whole violence. And I will tell you, one, okay, Game of Thrones on HBO, so violence is an issue. When you get to AMC, they scale it up, they scale it down a little bit. So you don't know what you're going to see and what you're going to hear. But I think they are starting to drop a little bit more. So the question came up in issue number 100. Once again, we're still talking about Glenn and Abraham's death. And they said, well, it's funny to me how they're using the comics now as a excuse. So last season, when we were talking about what could happen in issue number 100, and there was the cliffhangers, and we all did our speculation videos, then the question came up like, well, they're not going to go by the comics, they're not going to do this. Well, now they're talking about violence, and then they almost use the comic book as an excuse for the violence now, where they're saying, well, we had to do it this way because the comic is very graphic. So let me ask you guys this question. The Walking Dead comics versus, and you guys have hung out for some of my comic book reads up in the 80s. What do you think is the most violent scene you've seen so far, either on the TV show or in the comics? That's the question I have for each of you. So this is really going to test some of your comic knowledge, some of your TV knowledge, and I will tell you what mine is. I'll go back because I'm also doing, if you guys have not checked out some of the other channels, I mentioned 999 Sports, but we're doing 999 Comics as well, and I'm going to go back on that channel and do Best of Comics. And one of the ones, I got to tell you, I had to skip panels. I could not show the panels on my comic book reads, and I could not even bear to watch what happened. So my question for you is, most violent part, either on the TV show or in the comics? Hired Help says Glenn's death for sure. I'm going to say no. I'm going to disagree with you. James Gallegos, Herschel's beheaded. Herschel's daughter's beheaded. I'm going to say no. Zane Thomas hit it right on the head. Absolutely. I'm going to read some of the other ones. Zane, I'm coming back to you in a second. Tommy says Lori and Judith dying at the prison. Yes, I think that was a shocker. I won't disagree with you there. John Fix, Comics Governor Michonne. Bingo. Anybody that said that, Northside Queen, the governor scene with Michonne in the comics. A.J. Jepson said Rick biting the dude's throat. By far, I'm not even going to say it's close. I literally, when I was reading the comics, the stuff that the governor was doing to Michonne, it was so bad that when she did it back to him, it was almost like I was immune to it. And she did some rough stuff to him in the comics. I mean, what she did to him might have been worse than what he did to her, but the way he did it to her made me not even think that what he did to her was that bad. I know it sounds a little, I'm all over it. Go back, I don't know what issue it is, but I'm going to go back and actually listen to my reading of it, because I read it and I just moved on to the next one because it was really, it was freaky. So, you know how sometimes you read a comic and you're super hyped up and it's like, yeah, you know, Rick did this. Oh, no, you're a little shocked. Literally, I'm turning the pages there like, guys, I can't even read what he's doing at this point. So, that's kind of my moment, and I know a few people, actually a couple people were like, they mentioned it. Exactly. John's like, I cheered when Michonne got him. I think I was reading it and cheering. So I will do that in the best of. I don't know how I'm going to go back and do it, but obviously I'll be more immune to it this time around, because when I do the comics, I don't know what's going on. Like, okay, when I do issue number 100, I'm going to know what happens in that because I've seen enough of the panels. So I don't think that's going to be completely shocking, but there are still some things I'm going to run into that are still shocking. And by the way, with comics being said, I know it's been about a week since I've done a comic. I will catch you guys up on a comic book read tomorrow. So, all right, we're going to shift topics here a little bit. I know there are some New England Patriot fans out there, but since we are on the topic of serious stuff, you guys probably saw from the thumbnail that I did, and this has been in the news the last probably few days, 3 or 4 days. And once again, we got another case of a football player with CTE. And I This is hard too, because I was an Aaron Hernandez fan, and when the stuff happened with Odin Lloyd, and I hated him, I despised him. I saw this is evil, and I was comfortable with that. I know as bad as that sounds, I was comfortable that he was going to prison and there was going to be retribution and those type of things, because I said, it's just an evil guy. And then when I see a report of a person that has CTE, and the first thing that comes to my mind is there's a handicap, and there's something that happens that people can't control. Even though I don't like it and I don't agree with it, I've asked this question, I think, in a previous stream, and it always bothers me. As you guys know, I'm a graduate of psychology, so anything that is psychological always sort of intrigues me. And the question has always been, like, are you really 100% in control of your actions? Your brain and your habits dictate the things that you do, sometimes the things that you say. So if you get to a point where your brain is diseased and you're doing things, then it makes you wonder how much free will is involved. I'm not asking anybody here to sympathize, and I'm not, please understand, I'm not asking you to take my opinion and my viewpoint, because some of my viewpoints are they can be controversial, and I'm not asking you to agree or disagree. I just want to talk about it a little bit. So then when I see, like, he's been suffering from this for a long time. So CTE is caused by repeated head injuries. People that are boxers, people that are football players, you get concussions over and over again, and it starts to degenerate your brain. So it's a form of brain damage, and then there's things that you either can't do or decisions that you make that can change your moods. So this is what I think might have happened. As I said, it's reading between the lines, because some things were proven, some things were in court. So the word that has been out there is that Aaron Hernandez was at a bar and some people spilled his drink. They had words, some things happened. He was with some friends. They went out, got into a truck. He lost his temper. They followed him. He shot him. That was the word, okay? Whether it happened like that or it didn't. So already he has the CTE, and he has what people thought would be anger issues, right? But is he in control of those anger issues? Doesn't have CTE and he's just a moody person? Then yeah, I give you that. But repeated hits to the brain, and now he's doing something. So makes really paranoid, change of behavior. So evidently Odin Lloyd was one of the people that had known about this and had threatened him. So he had this apparent double homicide in his closet, and he just signed a new contract with New England. Things were going well, and evidently somebody was going to talk. So he covers his tracks again. Takes his friend, does something crazy, goes through his whole panic mode, does other stuff. So he had these issues for a certain period of time. Now, what he did was the act of a person who could probably think some things out. So I guess that gives me a little bit of a platform to say, this is not a person just lost it all of a sudden. This is a person that did premeditate. But it does change, to me, the dynamic a little bit. So I don't want this stream to be all super serious, because it is random things. But it is in the news, and I did want to talk about it. And I just want to get your opinion a little bit. So I'll read a couple comments and see what you guys think. I'm just curious, when a topic like that comes up. I saw Storm said Chris Benoit was a professional wrestler. Yes, there's one example. And you know what? In Chris Benoit's days, they're doing those real stunts, man. They're landing on their back. They're landing on their head. They are taking punches. As fake as wrestling is, oh no. People are like, Kills, wrestling isn't fake. The bleeding. Ric Flair, they'd fall down. They'd take razor blades and cut their head. It was real blood. It wasn't fake blood. So there's a lot of damage that these repeated falls and flips and everything has done to people. But Salin, that is a great comment. Like, people are talking about, he says his boys want to play football, wouldn't allow him. I mean, that wouldn't even be a conversation 10 years ago. Of course you would allow him. It's like, what do you mean? Now we're starting to think, we're having second thoughts about it because you want to see your grandchildren, right? He did, Carol. So not only that, I mean, the ending of the story is he was in prison and he killed himself. So, and it probably continued to make him worse. Exactly, Vanna. Damage to the frontal lobe. We mentioned that with Phineas Gage, right? I think I gave you guys the example of Phineas Gage. He's the one that had the railroad spike that went through his head and actually lived. It's one of the greatest psychological studies of all time. And people talked about his mood before and after the accident. It wasn't, and, you know, people that don't really get into it look at it and say, well, of course he was in a bad mood. Look what happened to his head. Look what happened to his face. It deranged him. It did these things. It wasn't just that. It was just, you know, everyday behaviors. And I'm not giving Aaron Hernandez a pass yet, because I just don't know as a society we're ready to do that, but it does give me a deeper form of thinking to say, if you're not in control of yourself, are you really to blame for what you do? Let's leave it at that, okay? Because I know we're all, I'm not trying to change anybody's opinion, it's just a scrupulous question that I'd just like to get out there. If you're not in control of yourself, of your brain, are you really responsible for what it is that you do? I would hate to ever be in that situation. I just pray that never happens, because I can ask that question now, but if I weren't in control, I wouldn't be able to ask that question. People would just assume that that's who you are and what you are. All right, let's move on. So I got the serious topic out of the way. Love in an elevator. So I just want to know, I sent some invitations out for the stream tonight and said we were going to do a live stream, and when I sent it, I mistyped it and I said we're going to do a love stream. So here it goes. We will have a topic of love. So love in an elevator. If you could be stranded in an elevator with one person, who would that person be? Stranded in an elevator with one person. Only one. Don't say my wife and kids. Just one. If you don't want to answer, you don't have to answer. And by the way, my disclaimer for this video is, if you type something, your comment is liable to be included in this video. I'm not reading every comment. I did add love to the stream, Kel. Rick Grimes would like to be in an elevator with Rick Grimes. Hey, that's to yourself. Hired help, you could definitely be in there with a blow-up doll if you want. Shamar Moore, Storm. Vonda says Andy Lincoln, no doubt about it. Of course, Kel says Tim Tebow. Tommy says Jessica Alba. Hope the wife's not watching. Oh, that is the sweetest thing. You know what? Lynn the Zombie Fox says with kilzhot. I just melted. Ann Hodge is still thinking. Kelly Golanzinier with Chris Pratt. Litton says a role model. What kind of role model, Litton? Like whom? Pick one. Lenore Smith says Stephen Hawking. Be a very deep conversation in that elevator ride. Tobin says kills. Look at that. All right. You guys are just being nice now. Ann Hodge went with Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Zane says my old English teacher. Zane, how old of an English teacher? Just curious. And then Kale, I'm second choice. You know what? I guess second choice isn't so bad. Okay. Now the follow-up question, and let me preface this. No political dialogue Who would you not want to be in an elevator with? And you can't say Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. Just don't, please. We're not going to take sides. It always causes a fight. Other than a politician, who would you not want to be stuck in an elevator list? Who is your worst nightmare? Let me know. Steph's like, I meant my husband. Yeah. Husbands and wives are going to be watching the playback, and some of you are going to be in some hot water. Vonda says, not Norman Reedus. Can you imagine the odor? It's a love scent, Vonda, for many people. Okay, here we go. Tobin would not want to be in there with Crazy Morgan. Steph Richardson says any Kardashian. Taylor would not want to be there with Tom Cruise. But you know what, Taylor? I read an article today that said Tom Cruise does use his own butt in the movie scenes. And actually, there is Taylor. Some people mentioned binge watching Sons of Anarchy a little bit ago, Taylor. So I told them that you are the resident expert on Sons of Anarchy. So if you guys don't know about OKS Taylor, check her out and join her for one of her streams. AJ Jepson said, a rabid dog. Lynn says Gary Busey. I don't know. I like me some Gary Busey. Easy Man says Gilbert Gottfried. Yes, that would be. I would have a. Oh, Joey Price says heavy metal guy. Jared, the heavy metal guy. Salen, I'm not going to read all of them, but I feel you. Because, if your friend watches and then, then they'll know. Britney Spears. Yeah, Britney Spears. I have a love-hate relationship with Britney. Like, I love her when the slot machine pays me, and I hate her when she takes my money. So I'm kind of neutral. Eric says, anyone drunk or strung out? Yeah, that's, an elevator, that would be not a good ride. Or, as you guys know, I'm not a fan of spiders. Some people don't like elevators anyway. We did talk about it in one of the streams. Oh, yeah, somebody said with a baby crying. Yeah, I'm not. And no offense to people that have babies. Because, you guys know, I have a cat. It's my baby. And some people get annoyed by a cat meowing. Morris has the cutest meow. I'll argue with anybody. It's like, as soon as he meows, I just kind of, that's my buddy. But yeah, I know some people, their babies cry and they're immune to it. With me, it's like nail scratching on a chalkboard. I hear that and it's like, oh, I can't do it. Especially when the baby's crying in the movie theater. I cannot wait until you can go to a movie theater and put in your AirPods and listen to the sound directly there instead of listening to all the ambience and everything around you. All right, good stuff. So the last category is actually multi-category because you guys know, October, Halloween is around the corner. It's like I wanted to wait on this, but we're so close to it, and as I'm ordering costumes and getting ready and helping decorate homeowners association stuff and all that, you're getting ready for Halloween, so you got to start thinking costumes. I don't know what it is, it just popped in my mind, which got me to music, and we like to always do something music related. I know one day we're going to do kilzhot karaoke. So then I even got it further. I know I have some veterans in the crowd here because I know some of your music tastes. We've done these streams before. So how many people, you know what, we're going to do an age check here. How many people in this stream are familiar with backmasking? If you know what backmasking is, because if we talk about evil songs, that's like more evil than evil songs. So if you're familiar with the term backmasking, and you're probably not if you're streaming music, and because here's kind of the history of music. Well, let's see. 33s, 45s, 8 tracks, cassettes, CDs, streaming, right? Is that kind of in order, like big 6? Try that again. 33s, big records, 45s, small records, 8 tracks, cassettes, CDs, and streaming. Okay, so backmasking is what people used to do. You could put a, you know how people like scratch, like, you know, that's my sound for a DJ. You know, they scratch the record. That's what a 33 is. So evidently you can put a needle on the record and you can turn the record backwards and it will give you words backwards. So what some people did with backmasking is they would say something in gibberish or say something backwards, and then when you do it, it tells you the word forward. Make sense? So it's like a way to kind of hide something. So we're going to talk about those songs. Give me a second. But one of the songs that evidently you can do this to, I was researching it, is Queen's "Another One Bites the Dust," and another one's gone, and another one's gone, another one bites the dust. So evidently there's a part that you can play that backwards, which is funny because there were some groups many years ago when this came out that said when you play it backwards, it says it's fun to smoke marijuana. Now, marijuana is legal in a lot of places now, and it may very well be fun to do so. But just to show you a little bit of how music has sort of changed, that is a little bit of the backmasking. So, another one. What shall we use to fill the empty spaces? Pink Floyd, right? Empty Spaces. So this was kind of evidently what they did. Roger Waters backmasked this so it says, "Hello, congrats, you just unlocked a secret message. Please send your message to Old Pink, care of the Funny Farm." Now that's a lot of stuff. So look, I don't have a record player to do this stuff with. I'm just kind of taking it for face value. So evidently that is the code that you can do. But a lot of them, it was just in a time where it was thought to be like evil. I do know Blue Oyster Cult, you know, they do Godzilla, Don't Fear the Reaper. They have been accused of it. Led Zeppelin, the part where in Stairway to Heaven, like, if there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. Evidently that part means something. A few other bands. So anyway, just want to sort of throw that out there a little bit. Lastly, what we're going to talk about, and I'm going to need everybody's participation with this because we are going to do a countdown. This isn't the top 9. We'll do the top 9 at another time. But I do want to talk about, I'm going to go through a list of top 10 Halloween themes. I want you to tell me what your number 1 is going to be when we get to it, and then we're going to talk about popular snubs. So here we go. Rapid fire, and then I'm going to get to some of yours. So number 10 from a popular website. Halloween songs would be the theme from Halloween. People like to play. And, you know, Michael Myers walking around. Number 9, I just mentioned Blue Oyster Cult, Don't Fear the Reaper. Remember last night of sadness, it was clear she couldn't go on. Don't Fear the Reaper. Werewolves of London is number 8. How about Rockwell? I always feel like somebody's watching me. When I'm in the shower, I'm afraid to wash my hair, because when I open my eyes and find someone standing, that one. Number 6, This Is Halloween. Number 5, Monster, Eminem and Rihanna. Number 4, There's Something Strange in Your Neighborhood. Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters is number 4. Number 3, I was a little surprised this was not, because, and I guess it's a sign of the times, Monster Mash is number 3. Number 2, fairly recent song, Demons by Imagine Dragons. I don't see that as a Halloween song, but I guess it's because it has demons in the title. And number 1, see if you guys can guess, the number 1 Halloween song of all time should be pretty easy. All right, let's get everybody's vote for number 1. Everybody in his chat right now, give me what you think is the number 1. D. Mooney says, it was the one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people leader. It's not that. That's not it. But it's a good choice. Number 1. Come on, guys. This is super, super easy. Salem Blue says Thriller. Who else says Thriller? Anybody? Vonda Martin says Thriller. Kel says Thriller. It's not Jethro Lung. Or Jethro Tull Aqualung. Sorry. That's a Jethro Lung. Jethro Tull Aqualung is not it. Eric Vaughn says Thriller. Ann High says Thriller. Salem Blue says Thriller. Abracadabra, Walani? Are you talking about like Steve Miller Band? Abracadabra. I want to reach out and grab. No, Thriller. You guys got it. Brene, Monster Mash was number 3. If there was a snub, you could probably say Monster Mash being 3 over Demons being number 2. I like Demons. I don't know if I put it in my top. So I'm going to give you a few of the popular snubs. 1, how about Devil went down to Georgia. He's looking for a soul to steal. He's in a bind. He's way behind. He's willing to make a deal. Came across this young boy, saw him on fiddle and playing it hot. Jumped up on a hickory stump and said, boy, let me tell you what. Bet you didn't know it, but I'm a fiddle player too, and if you care to take a dare, I'll make a bet with you. And you play a pretty good fiddle, boy, but give the devil his due. I bet a fiddle of gold against your soul. I think I'm better than you. Now the boy said, my name's Johnny, and okay, I'm going to stop. I don't know. I just got going with Devil Went Down to Georgia. Don't ask me how I know Charlie Daniels or why that song was even in my head or even why I sang it for so long, because I don't even know. Maybe some CT. No, that was bad. That was bad. Let me backtrack that. All right, regroup kills. All right, that was a popular snub. How about DJ Jazzy Jeff, Nightmare on My Street? That's a snub. Hotel California. Yeah. Okay, Hotel California. It was not on the list, but it is a popular snub. Highway to Hell, AC/DC. Please allow me to introduce myself. Sympathy for the Devil was a popular snub. How about CCR? I see a bad moon arising, or Cranberry Zombie, and then I live my life like there's no tomorrow. Van Halen, Running with the Devil. So you guys got a little bit of a taste of the top 10, a few snubs. So I got to ask you right now, if you had to choose a song that is not on the list as your favorite Halloween song, Thriller is probably going to be number 1. Give me something that is not on the list that you have not, that you just like to listen to. The Fat Boys, you know what? I didn't know they did that. I know they did. The Fat Boys are back, and you know you could never be whacked. The Fat Boys, I mean, I know that by the Fat Boys, but I didn't know a Freddy Krueger song. Or maybe I did, and I just don't remember it. It's possible. Tommy likes some Running with the Devil. You know what? I ain't gonna lie. I do love me some Van Halen. I like me some Van Halen, and I like me some Van Hagar as well. I like them both. All right, I'm going to get a couple more opinions in here, and then we are going to wind this stream down. I've got a few more people in here, and I do want to give shout-outs before we end this thing. So there's going to be some songs mentioned. Wow, you guys are like really into some serious-ass rock and stuff. There's some songs being listed I don't even know. Down with the Sickness. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. Yes, that was actually, and I know Sound of Silence, but you know, my Sound of Silence has always been, I know you guys like the redos. It's Simon and Garfunkel. Okay, here we go. Let's do something before I end the stream. You just brought up another good idea, and I know this is random things because we talk about whatever. What song would you like to see remade? So, for example, not a song that maybe has been remade. Some of them have. What about like, I don't know. Let's think of something just random. What is it? Phil Collins and somebody? Against All Odds or something like, how can you just walk away from me? What if you took a song like that and you just made it into a rap or a heavy metal song and just changed it up? Have you ever thought about what would be a good song that you could just, that deserves to be remade? That hasn't been remade well or hasn't been played in like a long time? Or somebody doesn't have the rights to redo it. Like maybe like a CCR song or something. Like Proud Mary's been remade a couple times. Hotel California. Yeah, I mean, I could be. Hot for Teacher. Got it made, got it made, got it made. I'm hot for teacher. I do like me some Van Halen. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Panama. Men at Work, Down Under would be a great remake. Lying in a den in Bombay with a slack jaw and not much to say. Yeah, could. Crazy Train sung as a ballad. I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Something like that. Like, I guess. I don't know, AJ. I'm going to have to. I like the idea. You know, that actually is not a bad idea. You kind of take it down a couple notches. Stuff by. More Doors stuff, I think, right? Any remake of Heard It Through the Grapevine? Yeah, I guess it's hard. You know, because some of them are so good. Saturday Night, Saturday. I don't know. It'd be tough to remake and it not sound the same stuff. I think everything would sound like the Bay City Rollers if you tried to redo it. That would be a challenge. I do like the Crazy Train idea, though. Wow, I think you got a winner, though. It looks like a lot of people like that idea. I do. I ain't going to lie. I love, and this is where the idea came up. Because Carly Simon did You're So Vain. And then Marilyn Manson and Johnny Depp remade it. And I like both of them. That's one I almost like equal. Because I do love the Carly Simon version of it. But then when I hear Marilyn Manson sing, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. You did a good job with that. Taylor says, as long as the remake isn't sung by some popular pop icon. Yeah, I guess you're right. It'd have to be something. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give this a thought. This is definitely something that we're going to either add to our top 9, or when we do Killshot Karaoke, we'll just kind of throw some remakes out there. Actually, you know what, Kel? That would not be bad. Adele singing Crazy Train. I would listen to it. Sweet Dreams, Marilyn Manson. Yep. A lot of good choices. Hey, everybody, we're going to wind this thing down because I've taken up about 48 minutes of your time, and I appreciate everybody being here, Random Things. As you guys know from the channel, we will stream some gaming. I saw Eric and a few other people from The Walking Dead March to War. At some point, maybe one of the Sunday morning streams, I'll do a little bit of that. I know we did it last week and kind of went through a little bit of gameplay. Still a lot more that I need to learn. There's a lot that I'm going to learn from other players as well. We still do Walking Dead Road to Survival, so a lot of people that are some of the best in the game have taught me a little bit about it. That's going to be something that's going to be coming up. We also, as you guys know, we do, oh man, so much stuff going on. Sports streams, as I said before. We've got comic book reads that are coming up. We're going to add some live comic book reads to the 99 Comics channel. What else we got going on? We're going to do Game of Thrones next week. We're going to start our first live session of that. We're doing Fear the Walking Dead reaction videos. And, of course, in about 3 weeks, we're going to start Walking Dead up again. Sunday night, we're going to do Sunday spoilers. Then we'll also do reactions on that. And, of course, our Wednesday walkers. So if you guys are subscribed, subscribe here, the other channels, because something could just pop up. You guys join the Facebook page as well. I know a couple of our moderators here, Steph Richardson, Moody Girl, a few other people have set up a Facebook fan page. People get on there and they paste, a lot of memes, and a lot of good chat. The 999 Army, good family, good group of people. And then Tommy and McCandless, Steph, also Kel, are really running a lot of show on the 999 Sports channel. So I am not the expert on a lot of these things, but being with you guys definitely educates me a lot, and it's a lot of give and take. So thank you for everything that you guys do. And once again, shout out to some of the new people. I saw a couple of new people jump in here. Eric Vaughn is one of the ones that is new. I know him from the game. Also, I saw a couple more people. Let me go back and see if a few more people. Litton, new to the chat. Also, a couple other people. So I'll tell you what we'll do. At the end of every stream, if you guys could just really quick type a 999 into the chat box. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you a shout out on this video, because every video we do, you guys help build it, you guys create it, you guys are part of everything we do for this channel. So I appreciate it, and I'm just extremely humbled by all the support you guys give me over the last couple years. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So iRock6, thanks for being here. Rick Grimes, you were like a popsicle on a hot summer day. Thank you for being here. Steph Richardson, awesome as always. James Gallegos, thank you so much. Lynn, the zombie fox Myers, wants to be stuck in an elevator. Thank you so much. I'm never going to forget that. Salem Blue, thank you so much. Zane Thomas in the house. Benny J, Storm3851, and Haj. If I give you a double shout out, it's just because I can't remember everybody. Kelly, go Lonzinier. I'm the best in the world at saying her name now. Matthew Todd, what's up, Matthew? The OK is Taylor, AJ Jepson, John O2C, Carol McFry. Thank you so much, Carol. Appreciate everything that you do. Tommy, the sweet ass enforcer, McCandless, and see, and then I got to stop, because and then when somebody like makes a super chat donation and gives me money, thank you so much, Northside Queen. Appreciate that. So your money will go to good use. As you guys know, I do things with donations and contributions to help animals. So I appreciate that so much, Northside Queen, and appreciate everything that you do, your involvement in the channel, not just from a financial standpoint, but also your involvement in the channel, just the things that you guys say and being a part of this. All right, so thank you so much. Getting back to a few of the shout-outs. Hired Help, thank you so much. Rial, thank you. Pleasure as always. Lenore Smith. And who else we got? You know what? The crazy train is just stuck in my head. It's not going to stop. I think I missed a few. Well, Lonnie, I missed you. D. Mooney. If for some reason I do miss you in a shout out, this video will go live for the whole world to see in about 10 or 15 minutes. So people will watch the playback. They're going to hear your name, they're going to hear your ideas, they're going to hear your comments. And that's why I read them out when we're doing this. So if I missed you for some reason, leave it in the comments. And also let me know what you liked, what you didn't like about it. And I'll try to do my best to improve it. Thanks, everybody. You guys have a wonderful night. I'm either going to go do some gaming, or I'm going to go watch the last episode. You know what? I'm going to ask you guys now. Take a pick here. Should I go do some hardcore gaming of Walking Dead, Road to Survival, March to War, or should I finish up Game of Thrones? Let's see what the crowd says. And then I'm going to wind this thing down for real. Or I could look up the lyrics to Crazy Train and just kind of sing it as sort of like a slow ballad. What are the... Oh, you know what? I'm going to look up the lyrics. Just Crazy Train. Because honestly, I know the lyrics to a lot of songs, but I don't know the lyrics to that. And even how it would sound. I see some people saying Game of Thrones. Some people are saying gaming. Oh, I do know this. I just couldn't sing it slow, like crazy. But that's how it goes. There are millions of people. Yeah, you can't do it without trying to... I don't know. I can't sing it as a ballad. You just, once you start saying it, it's like, this has got to go faster. It's got to go faster. All right. Can't do it. Sorry, AJ. It's a great idea, but it's going to have to be someone much more talented than me. I sing for a hobby, not as a profession. All right, everybody. Appreciate it. Maybe on a Saturday night when I've had a couple, that might actually do a little bit better. Thanks, everybody. I will talk to y'all soon. Peace.